Welcome to Lesson 7, Completing the Square. And completing the square is going to be our second way we're going to learn on how to solve our quadratic equations after we use some form of factoring. So why do we do this? Well, sometimes our first factoring method can be lengthy, and completing the square can sometimes be a bit quicker than this. Now there's several steps that we're going to follow to do this, but instead of me just outright telling you, I'm going to complete a problem, and I'm going to have you look at this and try to analyze with your group where you think each step is as I go. Then I'll show you the steps, and you can compare that list to what I did. So go ahead and just take notes and pay attention to what goes on. Okay, so that was completing the square, and what I want you to do now is pause the video and discuss with your group what you saw as each step went by, or what you thought was a step and what might not be a step. And if you need to rewind the video and replay that to help you in your discussion, go ahead and do that now. And here are the 6 steps that I followed. The first step is have only variables on one side. I like to have it the left side. The second step is to perform b divided by 2 squared. So you're going to divide your b by 2 and then you're going to square it. Step 3 is you're going to add that number you get from step 2 to both sides of the equal sign. Step 4, we're going to factor the variable side, and it comes out to be a nice kind of factor. Step 5 is we're going to take the square root of both sides. Step 6 is separate into 2 equations and solve. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to mark each step. So here is the first step. Here's the second step. Here is the third step. Here is the fourth step. And the fourth step is very nice because normally when you factor these, especially if your a equals 1, it'll come out to a repeated factor like this each time. Step 5 is here where we took the square root, and up here is step 6 where we solved. So once again, go ahead and pause this video and discuss with your group the steps here, and if you think you guys got them right or anything you think that could be improved upon this method. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. And then we're going to move on. I'm just going to do another example before prompting you to. So we have 5x squared minus 10x minus 21 equals 0. So we're going to do that. Then we get 5x squared, and this is step 1, 5x squared minus 10x equals 21. 2, we're going to do our b, which is negative 10 divided by 2 squared. And if you can, you always want to simplify in the parentheses first. So we get a negative 5 squared, which winds up being a 25. And the number you get in step 2 will always be positive. And I want you to think about why is it always positive. Step 3, we're going to add that. So 5x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 21 plus 25. And let's just simplify 21 plus 25 to be 46. Actually, I'll just go ahead and rewrite it again. It's no problem. There we go. And then we are going to factor this. And I am sorry, I made a mistake again. Whenever you have this, whenever you have your, after step 1 also needs there to be only 1 in front of your x squared. So you have to divide by whatever's underneath your x squared until it's a 1. So when we rewrite that, we're still in step 1, we get x squared minus 2x equals 21 over 5. So now we can go on to step 2. Sorry about that minute or so where it's not actually what we need to be doing. So here we have negative 2 divided by 2 squared equals negative 1 squared, which equals plus 1. Step 3, we get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 21 over 5 plus 1. Well, that 21 over 5 becomes a 26 over 5. So we get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 26 over 5. Step 4, we're going to factor. So we get x minus 1 squared equals 26 over 5. Step 5, we take the square root. And I know this is going to look a little weird, but we're just going to leave that square root there. So when we rewrite this, we get x minus 1 equals the square root of 26 over 5, plus or minus. We're going to split it up into our 2. X minus 1 equals square root of 26 over 5. And x minus 1 equals negative square root of 26 over 5. We're going to add 1. And we cannot add things inside and outside, so this is 1 plus square root 26 over 5. Oops, meant to put that at a longer square root. We're going to add 1 over here, and this becomes 1 minus square root of 26 over 5. And I'm sorry, I know that looks a little weird and messed up, but just a note on step 1, you cannot go to step 2 until you only have a 1 here. So that means you may have to divide. So here is an example for you to try with your group. You see that a here already equals 1. So go ahead and pause the video and try this. Alright, and here's the worked out with the steps answer to the example. So go ahead, pause the video again with your group and look this over. And here is one last example, and you will notice that this a right here does not equal 1, so don't forget on step 1 to divide by that. So go ahead, pause the video and work through this now. And here's the worked out solution to that example, so go ahead and pause the video again. Review this with your group, make sure you got the right answers, and then that's the end of this video.